Why do some people haunt your thoughts for weeks after just one conversation? Why can't you shake the feeling that you've met someone who sees straight through to your soul? There's this rare breed of human, just 2% of the population, who possess an almost supernatural ability to create instant, intense connections. They make you feel understood like never before, then leave you craving more of their attention. You find yourself checking their social media, replaying every word they said, wondering when you'll see them again. The crazy part? You're not the only one feeling this way about them. Right now, there are probably 5 other people obsessing over that same person. These are INFJs, and today we're cracking the code on their mysterious power. I call it the obsession effect, and once you understand it, you'll finally know why that one person has such a hold on you. Buckle up, because this is about to get intense. 1. The mystery behind the rarest personality type. Let's start with the basics, but trust me, there's nothing basic about INFJs. Standing for introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging, the INFJ personality type is often called the advocate or the counselor. But here's the thing. These labels barely scratch the surface of what makes these individuals so uniquely captivating. INFJs possess what psychologists call a paradoxical personality. They're introverts who can be incredibly social when they want to be. They're dreamers with practical sides. They're gentle souls with incredible inner strength. This contradiction creates an aura of mystery that people find absolutely irresistible. Think about it, we're naturally drawn to puzzles, right? And INFJs are walking, breathing puzzles that most people spend years trying to figure out. The moment someone thinks they've got an INFJ figured out, boom, another layer reveals itself. This constant discovery process keeps people hooked and coming back for more. But there's something deeper happening here. INFJs don't just confuse people, they make people feel things. Intense things. And that's where the obsession really begins. 2. The depth that draws people in. Here's where things get really interesting. Most people, let's be honest, live pretty surface-level lives. They talk about the weather, their jobs, what they watched on Netflix last night. Nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't exactly set souls on fire, does it? Enter the INFJ. These folks don't do small talk, they do soul talk. Within minutes of meeting an INFJ, you might find yourself discussing your deepest fears, your wildest dreams, or that thing you've never told anyone else. It's like they have this magical ability to create a safe space where your authentic self can finally breathe. INFJs have what researchers call emotional depth perception. They don't just see what you're showing them, they see what you're not showing them. They pick up on the tiny facial expressions, the slight changes in your voice, the way you hold your shoulders when you're stressed. It's like having a conversation with someone who's reading the book of you while you're still figuring out the title. This depth isn't just attractive, it's addictive. Once someone experiences being truly seen and understood by an INFJ, everything else feels shallow by comparison. They start craving that connection, that feeling of being known. And that's when the obsession kicks in. 3. The empath's superpower, reading souls. Now, let's talk about the INFJ's secret weapon, their incredible empathic abilities. We're not talking about the, oh, I feel bad for you, kind of empathy. We're talking about the, I can feel what you're feeling so intensely that it's like I'm living in your emotional world, kind of empathy. INFJs have what scientists call mirror neurons on overdrive. When you're happy, they feel your joy. When you're sad, they feel your pain. When you're confused, they feel your uncertainty. But here's the kicker, they don't just feel it, they understand it. They can put words to emotions you didn't even know you were having. Imagine being around someone who not only gets you but can help you get yourself. That's the INFJ experience. They become like emotional translators, helping people understand their own hearts and minds. And once someone experiences that level of understanding, they don't want to let it go. This creates what psychologists call emotional dependency. People start relying on the INFJ to help them navigate their inner world. They begin to feel lost without that mirror, that guide, that person who makes sense of all the chaos inside their heads. 4. The mysterious energy that's hard to define. There's something about INFJs that goes beyond personality traits and gets into pure energy. People often describe being around an INFJ as feeling different, but they struggle to put their finger on exactly what that difference is. Part of it is their presence. INFJs have this quality of being completely there when they're with you. In our age of constant distractions, being around someone who gives you their full attention feels revolutionary. They're not checking their phone, thinking about their to-do list, or planning what they're going to say next. They're just present. Fully, completely present. But there's more to it than just attention. INFJs seem to carry this aura of wisdom and depth that's way beyond their years. They have this old soul quality that makes people feel like they're talking to someone who's lived 1,000 lives. There's a gravitas to them, a weightiness that draws people in like a magnet. Some people describe it as a calming energy. Being around an INFJ makes them feel more peaceful, more centered. Others describe it as an awakening energy. INFJs make them feel more alive, more aware, more connected to themselves and the world around them. 5. Why INFJs seem to get everyone instantly. Here's something that absolutely blows people's minds about INFJs: their ability to understand others almost instantly. You know how most people need time to figure someone out? INFJs seem to have a shortcut to the human soul. This happens because of their dominant cognitive function, something called introverted intuition. Think of it as a pattern recognition system that's constantly running in the background. INFJs are unconsciously picking up on thousands of tiny details about you, your word choices, your body language, your energy, your contradictions, and their brain is weaving all of this into a comprehensive understanding of who you are. The crazy part? They often understand you better than you understand yourself. They see your potential before you see it. They recognize your fears before you admit them. They spot your dreams before you dare to voice them. It's like they have X-ray vision for the human psyche. This creates an incredibly powerful bond. When someone feels truly seen and understood, they develop what psychologists call psychological safety. They feel like they can be their authentic selves without judgment. And once someone experiences that freedom, that acceptance, they don't want to give it up. 6. The paradox of being distant yet intimate. Now here's where INFJs get really fascinating and where the obsession really takes root. They have this incredible ability to be emotionally intimate while remaining personally distant. It's like they can see into your soul while keeping their own soul partially hidden. INFJs are masters of what I call selective vulnerability. They'll create incredibly deep connections with people, making others feel completely understood and accepted. But when it comes to their own inner world, they're much more guarded. They share pieces of themselves, but never the whole picture. This creates an irresistible dynamic. The more an INFJ understands you, the more you want to understand them. The more they see you, the more you want to see them. But INFJs are like onions. Just when you think you've peeled back the last layer, you discover there are 10 more layers underneath. This isn't manipulation, it's self-protection. INFJs have such rich, complex inner worlds that they're naturally cautious about who they let in. But this caution, this mystery, this sense that there's always more to discover, keeps people absolutely fascinated. 7. The intensity that's both magnetic and overwhelming. Let's be real about something: INFJs don't do anything halfway. When they care about something or someone, they care with the intensity of 1,000 suns. This intensity is part of what makes them so magnetic, but it's also what can make relationships with them feel overwhelming. INFJs experience emotions at a depth that most people can't even imagine. Their highs are higher, their lows are lower, and everything in between is felt with an intensity that can be both beautiful and terrifying. When an INFJ loves you, whether as a friend, partner, or family member, you feel loved in a way that changes you. But here's the thing about intensity: it's addictive. Once someone experiences the depth of an INFJ's care, attention, and understanding, everything else feels shallow. Other relationships start to feel surface level, unsatisfying, incomplete. People find themselves comparing everyone to the INFJ, and most people just don't measure up. This intensity also shows up in how INFJs communicate. They don't just talk to you, they connect with you. Every conversation feels meaningful, every interaction has weight. There's no such thing as a casual chat with an INFJ because they bring their whole self to every interaction. 8. The helper complex that makes others dependent. Here's something that might surprise you. Part of what makes INFJs so obsession-worthy is their incredible desire to help others. These folks are natural healers, counselors, and guides. They see someone struggling and their first instinct is to help, to fix, to make things better. But here's where it gets complicated. INFJs are really good at helping people. They have this uncanny ability to see exactly what someone needs and provide it. They're like emotional first aid kits, always ready with exactly the right words, the perfect advice, or just the right kind of support. This creates what psychologists call rescuer syndrome, but from the other direction. People become dependent on the INFJ's help, support, and guidance. They start feeling like they can't handle life's challenges without their INFJ there to help them make sense of everything. The INFJ becomes their emotional North Star, their go-to person for everything from major life decisions to daily emotional processing. And once someone becomes used to having that level of support and understanding, the thought of losing it becomes terrifying. 9. How INFJs mirror what others need most. This is where INFJs become almost supernatural in their appeal. They have this incredible ability to become exactly what someone needs in the moment. Not in a fake way, INFJs are authentically themselves, but they naturally bring out the aspects of their personality that will most benefit the person they're with. With someone who needs stability, the INFJ becomes a rock. With someone who needs adventure, the INFJ reveals their spontaneous side. With someone who needs deep conversation, the INFJ becomes a philosopher. With someone who needs comfort, the INFJ becomes a healer. This isn't manipulation or people-pleasing. It's genuine adaptability combined with an incredible ability to read what others need. INFJs have such rich, multifaceted personalities that they can authentically connect with almost anyone on some level. But here's what happens. People start thinking the INFJ was designed specifically for them. They feel like they've found their perfect match, their soulmate, their other half. They don't realize that the INFJ has this effect on lots of people. Each person feels like they have a unique, special connection with the INFJ. 10. The validation factory effect. Let's talk about something that INFJs probably don't even realize they're doing. They're constantly validating others in ways that feel absolutely incredible. Not with empty compliments or fake praise, but with genuine recognition and appreciation for who people really are. INFJs see potential in people that others miss. They see beauty in flaws, strength in struggles, wisdom in mistakes. When an INFJ looks at you, they're not seeing your job title, your social status, or your surface-level achievements. They're seeing your soul, your potential, your authentic self. And when someone feels truly seen and appreciated for who they really are, not who they pretend to be or who they think they should be, it's incredibly powerful. It's like finally being recognized after being invisible your whole life. INFJs have this way of making people feel special, important, worthy of love and attention. They don't do this through flattery or manipulation. They do it by genuinely seeing and appreciating the good in others. And once someone experiences that level of validation, they crave it. They need it. They become obsessed with the person who made them feel that way. 11. The creative soul that inspires others. Here's another layer to the INFJ mystique, their incredible creativity and vision. Most INFJs are natural artists, writers, dreamers, and visionaries. They see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. They're constantly imagining better ways, deeper meanings, more beautiful possibilities. This creative energy is absolutely magnetic. Being around an INFJ often makes people feel more creative, more inspired, more connected to their own artistic souls. INFJs have this way of awakening the dormant creativity in others, of making them see beauty and meaning in places they never noticed before. But it goes deeper than just creativity. INFJs often have this sense of purpose, this mission, this calling that guides their lives. They're not just living day to day, they're working towards something meaningful, something that will make the world better. This sense of purpose is incredibly attractive to people who feel lost or directionless in their own lives. People become obsessed not just with the INFJ as a person, but with the INFJ's vision, their dreams, their mission. They want to be part of something meaningful, and INFJs represent that possibility. 12. The loyalty that goes beyond normal friendships. When an INFJ decides you're important to them, you're important forever. These folks don't do casual relationships. They do deep, meaningful, lifetime connections. Once you're in an INFJ's inner circle, you're family. Period. This level of loyalty and commitment is rare in today's world. Most relationships are conditional, temporary, based on convenience or mutual benefit. But INFJs love with a loyalty that's unwavering and unconditional. They'll stick by you through your worst moments, support you through your biggest challenges, and celebrate your victories like they're their own. This creates an incredibly strong bond. When someone knows they have an INFJ's loyalty, they feel secure in a way that's almost addictive. They know they have someone in their corner no matter what, someone who won't abandon them when things get tough, someone who truly has their back. But here's the flip side. The thought of losing that loyalty, that support, that unconditional love becomes terrifying. People become obsessed with maintaining their connection with the INFJ because they know relationships like this don't come along very often. 13. The wisdom that seems beyond their years. There's something about INFJs that makes them seem wise beyond their years. Whether they're 20 or 60, they often have this old soul quality that makes people feel like they're talking to someone who's lived multiple lifetimes. This wisdom isn't just about book knowledge or life experience. It's emotional wisdom, spiritual wisdom, the kind of deep understanding that can't be taught in schools. INFJs seem to intuitively understand the human condition in all its complexity, beauty, and pain. People are drawn to this wisdom like moths to a flame. In a world full of confusion, uncertainty, and surface-level thinking, finding someone who seems to have deep answers to life's biggest questions is incredibly appealing. INFJs become like modern-day philosophers, helping others make sense of their lives and their place in the world. This wisdom also shows up in their advice and guidance. INFJs don't just tell you what you want to hear, they tell you what you need to hear, often in exactly the way you need to hear it. Their insights can be life-changing, relationship-saving, future-altering. And once someone experiences that kind of transformative guidance, they don't want to lose access to it. 14. The emotional sanctuary they provide. In our chaotic, fast-paced, often harsh world, INFJs provide something incredibly rare: emotional sanctuary. Being around an INFJ feels like coming home after a long, difficult journey. They create spaces where people can let their guard down, where they can be vulnerable, where they can rest from the constant performance that modern life requires. INFJs have this incredible ability to make others feel emotionally safe. They don't judge, they don't criticize, they don't make people feel small or inadequate. Instead, they create this bubble of acceptance and understanding where people can just be themselves. This emotional sanctuary becomes addictive. Once someone experiences the relief of being completely accepted and understood, going back to the regular world of judgment and criticism feels almost unbearable. They start craving that safe space, that emotional home that the INFJ provides. People become obsessed not just with the INFJ as a person, but with the feeling they get when they're around the INFJ. It's like being addicted to peace, to safety, to the feeling of being truly at home in your own skin. 15. The future vision that makes others feel hopeful. Finally, let's talk about one of the most powerful aspects of the INFJ aura: their incredible ability to see potential and possibility. INFJs don't just see you as you are, they see you as you could become. They see the future version of you that you're working toward, even when you can't see it yourself. This vision is incredibly inspiring and hopeful. When an INFJ believes in you, it makes you believe in yourself. When they see your potential, it helps you see your potential. When they have faith in your future, it gives you faith in your future. But here's what makes this so powerful: INFJs don't just see your potential, they actively help you reach it. They become cheerleaders, coaches, mentors, and guides all rolled into one. They help you become the person you're meant to be. This creates an incredibly powerful bond. When someone has helped you transform your life, helped you reach your potential, helped you become your best self, how could you not be deeply connected to them? How could you not feel like they're essential to your growth and happiness? Conclusion. So there you have it, the mystery of the INFJ aura finally decoded. It's not magic, but it might as well be. The combination of depth, empathy, mystery, intensity, wisdom, and genuine care creates a perfect storm of attractiveness that few people can resist. INFJs create obsession not because they're trying to, but because they offer something incredibly rare in our world: genuine connection, deep understanding, unconditional acceptance, and the feeling of being truly seen and valued for who you really are. The obsession isn't really about the INFJ themselves, it's about what they represent. They represent the possibility of being truly known, deeply understood, and unconditionally loved. They represent the hope that somewhere in this vast, often lonely world, there's someone who gets you, someone who sees your worth, someone who believes in your potential. And once someone experiences that kind of connection, that depth of understanding, that level of acceptance, everything else feels incomplete by comparison. The INFJ becomes the standard by which all other relationships are measured, and most people just can't measure up. But here's the beautiful thing about understanding this dynamic. It helps us all become better friends, partners, and human beings. We can learn from the INFJ approach. We can practice deeper listening, more genuine empathy, greater acceptance, and more authentic connection. The world needs more of what INFJs naturally provide: depth in a shallow world, understanding in a judgmental world, and genuine connection in an increasingly disconnected world. Maybe the obsession with INFJs is really just our souls recognizing what we're all desperately craving: to be truly seen, deeply understood, and genuinely loved for exactly who we are. So the next time you find yourself inexplicably drawn to someone, ask yourself, are they making you feel seen? Do they understand you in ways others don't? Do they create that sense of emotional safety and acceptance that's so rare to find? If so, you might just be experiencing the incredible magnetism of the INFJ aura. And honestly, there are worse things to be obsessed with than someone who makes you feel like the best version of yourself.